Yeah, what is up guys, and we're back for the KIZUNA batch. We've got the information in the database. It's looking like a good batch, so let's get into it. So we have Crocodile and Robin, Striker and Cerebral, Strength and Dex for both characters, which is pretty good. We don't have any confusion there. A good array of tags. I'm surprised we have the Egghead tag here, but I'm sure they probably took it from a scene from Egghead chapters or episodes. The captain reduces the cooldown of Striker and Cerebral by 1 turn. It's a shame it could have been reduced the cooldown of all characters. And Baroque Works and the 7 Warlords attack by 1.2 and Cerebral and Striker by 5.25. So if you have either of these tags or either of these classes, both, you can get up to 6.3, which is a good multiplier. The HP part doesn't matter. The damage reduction doesn't really matter. Reduces bind and pain by 3 turn, which is pretty good because there is no condition on it. Compared to recently, we've been having a lot of conditions on captains based on the tags. So far, it's pretty good. If you have four Baroque Works, Paramecia, Logia, 7 Warlords, or World Government as a crew member, and they use their special that boosts an orb, increase the duration of any orb amplification by 1 turn, and increase the orb by 0.25. This is a pretty convoluted one. It's an okay addition to the captain, but you're probably not going to use it much. Despite the array of tags is pretty wide, especially the Logia type and the Paramecia types. There's a lot of units. And for the other side, it's basically the same, other than the Dex orbs. And when it's combined special, it's a combined captain, basically the same. The multiplier becomes 6.6, and up to 2 times per adventure when one of the 7 Warlords plus Mr. 1, 2, 3 use a special as a crewmate, ignores the buff protection, and inflicts enemy with increased damage taken by 1.75 for 1 turn. That's a pretty good effect. 1.75 is pretty low, but if you get it for free without having to do anything, it's a good addition. And the rest is the same. As a sailor, removes blind completely, which is concerning for the upcoming KIZUNA. As a swap, it's a captain shift. So the normal swap reduces resistance for Striker and Cerebral by 15%, and change the orb of this character into a matching orb, and removes paralysis duration completely on this character. So at least if you don't have them and bring them as a friend captain, at least their swap does something compared to some of the early captain shift units that don't do anything outside of their special. And captain shift can be used up to 1 time per adventure if Mr. Zero, basically Crocodile, is captain and switches to Miss All Sunday. Optionally, swap this unit with your middle left unit for 3 turns. That's a pretty good duration. Usually some of the early ones we had are only for 1 turn. If Miss Sunday is in your middle left unit, and okay, that works well with the Mihawk that we saw earlier. Middle left, and switches to Mr. Zero. Optionally swaps this unit with your captain for 3 turns and reduces the cooldowns of this character by 3 turns, and reduces the resistance by 20% for strength and dex. It's okay. So as a captain, you want to be as Crocodile and swap into Robin, and as sailor you want to be Robin and swap into Mr. Zero. It's an okay shift. And let's see the rest. So let's check the special. Poison all enemies, reduce defense by 10 turns. Oh, now I'm really concerned for the KIZUNA. Become a dual unit for 3 turns. If your crew has a chain lock, it could be lock or chain boundary. You get a color affinity 2.75 for 2 turns and can be enhanced 2 times. And if not, you get a chain boundary for 2 turns, 3.25 to 35. That's a pretty good chain boundary. And if your crew has 4+ of these characters that are linked to this condition on your captain, you get to inflict the enemy with weakness, which is pretty good. It doesn't have a lot of redundancy, so if you satisfying this, you have this too. It's a pretty good captain overall. 3.25 and pretty good special. 10 turns of defense, boundary or color affinity. I would rather go with the boundary, but color affinity it's pretty low usually. And the super EX or the super special can be activated with only one of these characters, which is pretty good. And you remove the swap, obviously, reduces barrier by 2 turns, and increase the damage taken by 2.5, and transform strength and the dex into super strength and dex. So if you're using the whole kit, use this one of these units, you get an orb boost, increase to 1 turn, and you apply increased damage taken, and then you have the weakness from this when you use this special, and you get to improve this increased damage taken into 2 times. It's good overall. It's a pretty good legend. It's not great, but it's a pretty decent legend. You wouldn't be disappointed if you pulled it. For the PvP, level 1 or level 5 attack and def for striker and cerebral, speed attack and speed down to slashers and free spirit. Alright, that's curious. Applies level 3 CT buff to these tags. A lot of cerebrals have these 2 devil fruits, so they should be buffing a lot of array of units. Too bad they didn't add the egghead. And the special, that's a pretty low cooldown, 25 seconds. Inflict enemies with attack and speed down to all enemies. This is not a good thing. Medium range, it's not good. You're not going to be hitting a lot of units. Deal 2 times the attack to all enemies. Again, large radial range. 80% chance to inflict paralysis on all enemies in large radial for 10 seconds. Oh, and reduce 40% CT slashers and free spirits. And buff the defense of the tags. It's a cool unit to have against slashers and free spirit, which there is a lot of them, but outside of that, they're not gonna be useful if you're fighting against like a striker team or driven or any other classes. They're pretty useless. So it's a pretty niche unit for PvP at least. 40% is basically the same as Namikarina, but Namikarina doesn't target a specific unit. It does, I think, 3 characters or 4 characters, or all of your. Basically, feels like you're all of your team. So yeah, it's not that crazy in PvP unless you have a specific opponent to fight, especially in GP when you know what you're fighting against. But other than that, it's not that amazing. The rest of the kit is pretty good. So let's move to the rare recruit. So it's Doflamingo, same tags, driven, cerebral, and strength. The captain boosts attack of 7 warlords by 1.2, basically same as the other captain of Mr. Zero and Miss All Sunday, and from between 3.5 to 4.2 and up to 5.1 when you have the class and the tag. If you have 3 7 warlords character, reduces special bind duration to on middle and bottom row by 6. It's pretty good for a rare recruit, but you're not going to be using it as much probably. So let's see the rest. And this condition of 3+ warlords is hard to achieve outside when you use it with the rest of the batch. So when you tap on with a dex or strength orb, you get -10 resistance to driven. It's pretty weird that they only do it to driven, and this captain is striker and cerebral. They could have made it for cerebral, but we'll see. The special reduces threshold by 6 turns, boosts orb effect for cerebral and driven by 2.5, or the pretty good special, and boosts attack against enemies inflicted with weakness by 2.25 for 1 turn. Already this part is amazing, and there's not a lot of characters that do increase damage against weakened enemies. I think there's like 4 or 5, and I think one of them is a Super Sugo, and I think 2 of them are like limited PvP legends. 2 or 1. I think it's the Pika, the strength Pika. And if this character was captain at the start of the adventure and is a crewmate when this special is activated, increased boosts of orb, amplification, and status attack boost buff by 0.4. So this one becomes 2.65. Or any other boost that you have, and including effects activated in the same turn. Yeah, so basically this, and allows dex and strength orbs to become useful for super tandem. And if your crew has 2+7 warlords, which is just him plus 1 other character, enables attack buffs to be enhanced up to 2 times. Reduces attack down by 6 turns. Oh my god, he has so many in his kit. This special is crazy. Yeah, this is a great unit. And for the PvP, it doesn't have PvP. And he has Super Tandem, a standard one, yeah. 1.7 is a standard for Driven and Cerebral. Yeah, it's a pretty good unit. And for the last one is this Alvida. She's a support red recruit. We're not gonna look at her special Lux Orbs. This is def to 0. Doesn't matter. The support is for strikers, which is a pretty wide range. It's a good sign. Once per adventure, when a support character uses a poison reducing special or a special to poison enemies, reduces damage received by 80% for 6 turns, and reduces enemy striker resistance by 8, and allows HP to overfill 2 times and recover 3000 HP. Okay, so this is made for Saturn, I assume, because his special removes poison, and if we get with this buff that we get, the increases allow us to overfill our HP. He enables his Super EX. So the condition of his Super EX is either have this overfill buff or have an attack buff with 8 times plus. So you put this Alvida on him and you use his special, and you have your Super EX activated, and you can reduce 10 turns of attack down and have minus 50% resistance. That's the first one that comes to mind, but so let's check if there's any striker that remove, or which striker that remove poison. Saturn is the only one that really matters. because with this we already get the overfill buff. So it's only made for Saturn. Let's see which ones apply poison. So we have this guy, but I don't see why. What you get 80% damage reduction, but you don't get much benefit from this overfill max HP. So the only unit that I see getting the most use out of it is Saturn, which shouldn't be a reason for you to pull for this batch, because Saturn is still not seeing a lot of play. He's pretty good, but is still pretty niche until we get the rest of the Gorosei characters. You better just save your gems and wait for the Super Boss KIZUNA that's coming up next month, probably like 20 days away. And for the Super Boss KIZUNA and the normal KIZUNA that's upcoming, you don't have to worry about that. There's going to be a lot of teams now using the new batch, and you'll be able to deal with the mechanics without having to waste your gems. So that's it for me. I hope you find this helpful. Please like and subscribe, and have a nice day.